Welcome to Dan ARG YouTube. This one a Zoom meeting with Gov Obaseki, the Edo State Governor, and Philip Shaibu, the Deputy Governor. And the person wey host them for this meeting, his name na Comrade Lampton. Plenty people wey dey for diaspora dey this meeting. They don ask the Edo State Governor and Deputy Governor so many questions concerning the insecurity and election violence for Edo State because of this election wey wan happen September 19. So make I leave you now, make you for hear the questions wey they give the Edo State Governor and the Deputy Governor. Enjoy this video, and as you dey watch am, abeg make you join us, share this video and also like the video. So make I leave you now, make you for hear the question and the answer.
Hello, good evening, Edo people across the world. It is my honor to welcome you to the third of the series of Zoom meetings we are having with the Governor of Edo State, Governor Gov Obaseki. And today we are also privileged to have the Deputy Governor, Honorable Philip Shaibu, to accompany the Governor today. My name is Comrade Lampton Oriahi. I live in the UK, and tonight I am your host. To join me and call this program is a very reputable woman, one who in very many quarters need no introduction because she's been doing a lot to support the Edo vision across the world. And she's no other person as I introduce to you Lady Esosa Lady Esosa Edo Giawere. Welcome, Lady Esosa.
Thank you very much, Comrade Lampton. It's an absolute pleasure to be here with you today. I'm really excited being with you, a true man of Edo, a man with great values. Thank you for having me. Without further ado, let's give a warm welcome to His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Edo State, Godwin Obaseki. Lovely to have you with us here, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you all.
Thank you very much, Lady Esosa. It is now my honor to welcome the Deputy Governor, Honorable Philip Shaibu, if he's ready. Honorable Deputy Governor, sir.
Thank you.
You are welcome, sir. We are glad to have you.
Thank you very much. Good evening, all.
Good evening, Your Excellency.
Thank you so much. Well, going forward, as part of our rules of engagement tonight, let me inform you all that tonight we have panelists we are going to be taking questions from. But tonight's model is going to be different in that we'll take a question from a panelist which the governor or the deputy governor or both would respond to. Thereafter, we'll take 3 questions from the members, the Zoom floor audience. You know, the governor or the deputy or both of them will respond to those questions, you know, as joint questions. It is equally important to note that for those who are going to be asking questions, they shall be selected at random. And if you're selected to ask a question, it is important you understand that for every question, nobody should spend more than 90 seconds. That is 1 minute, 30 seconds to ask their questions. And equally, it's my pleasure to let you know that every question is programmed for 90 seconds. And if you go beyond 90 seconds, you may find that the mic is going to be muted, and that is automatic, you know, automatically programmed. More than that, you can equally send in your questions to the chat box. And of course, we have a number of persons, you know, backroom staff that will be looking at the chat box to select, you know, questions, of course, that we're going to throw at the governor and or his deputy. For this program, it is important to let you know that we are focusing on security and, of course, electoral violence. And we expect that questions will be raised in these areas. It is my honor right now to hand over to Lady Esosa Edo Giawere to
Thank you,
immediately
Latte.
start with the panelists.
Thank you very much, Latte. Our first panelist today is Desiree Iyobo Tisdale from the United States. Desiree is a healthcare administrator in the medical field, and she's a passionate and advocate for people with additional needs. Madam Desiree, what's your question, please?
Can you
Madam
unmute
Desiree?
yourself, please, Madam Desiree?
If we can't find her,
You
Lady
hear me?
Esosa, can we
Oh,
move to the
hello.
next
She's
panel?
here.
Can
She's
you hear
here.
me?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Can you hear?
Yes, we can
Okay.
hear you.
Okay. Good evening, Your Excellency, and thank you for your love for Edo people. Thank you for your stand against the locust mentality that has so permeated our beloved country. Thank you for taking a stand. My question is, Your Excellency, we know that there are lots of commercials to dissuade the youth from participating in ballot box snatching. How can the security of the voters' ballots be guaranteed during this upcoming election? Thank you.
Very good.
Your Excellency, sir.
Your Excellency.
Can we try to see if we can unmute the His Excellency if he's muted?
So thank you very much, Desiree. Do you want me to take the question or my deputy?
You can take it, sir.
Okay, thank you. I think first let's try and understand the origins and the, genesis of electoral violence in Nigeria, but in particular, Edo State. It's been a practice that's been with us for a long while, but in Edo, as in some other states in the Niger Delta, it has taken a different proportion. First, because you have a lot of young, unemployed people who the politicians find as veritable instruments during politics to use to achieve their political objectives. In the case of Edo, what we've noticed is that it's tied to this whole practice of, agberos, motor park boys, who unfortunately we deprived of quality education over the years. So it's been a vicious cycle where political leadership does not provide the right education, the right skills for these young men, and they then use them as praise to perpetuate, their political aspirations. And in doing so, they use them for political violence. What we have done in Edo is, at the beginning of this administration, we worked very, very hard. I mean, the deputy governor handles that exercise for me, where we try to get as many of them off the streets into work. We try to get them to assist us, assist the local governments with collection of revenues. But I will be the first to admit that in terms of numbers, they run into thousands, and we couldn't put all of them into proper work. What can be done? I think it's mostly persuasion and also law enforcement. If the law enforcement agents are able to live up to their responsibilities by ensuring that there's deterrence and that there are repercussions to this act, then it's likely to dissuade more younger people or more people from participating in electoral violence. I cannot recall where people have been prosecuted and jailed in the past for participating in electoral violence. I'm not sure, it is very difficult to prove in court. So what we advocate and suggest is first persuasion, and secondly, getting the security services to live up to their responsibilities, making sure that cases of electoral violence that are reported are promptly dealt with and people are prosecuted.
Thank you, Excellency. I'm sure that answers Madam Desiree's question. Comrade Oriahi, what's the next question? Comrade?
Sorry. Thank you so much, Your Excellency. We are now going to quickly go to the Zoom floor, and we have Henry Olova. Is it there? Henry Olova. Please, can we unmute him?
Yes, Henry Olova is here. Thank you.
Please ask your question. You have 1 minute, 30 seconds, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much, Your Excellency. The question is centered on the uncollected over 400,000 PVCs as detailed by the INEC. How are we going to secure those PVCs that are uncollected? Because to me, they might be used as an additional voters count for the opposition, over 400,000. And secondly, how are we?
You have one question, sir. Thank you so much. The Excellency has already taken note of that. We'll take another quick question, but this one will be from Chief Taku. I would hope that the question from Henry Olova will be responded to by His Excellency, and probably the one from Chief Taku will be taken by the Deputy. Chief Taku, sir, if you are there.
Thank you so much. Your Excellency, the Governor of Edo State, and Your Excellency, the Deputy Governor, I'm happy to have been invited here by my good friend, Ambassador Matthew Wifo, and I thank these organizers of this conference for providing this platform for Your Excellency to talk to your electorate, the people of Edo State, but also to those of us who are keen observers of the politics of Edo State, Nigeria, and Africa in general. I'm Chief Charles Taku. I'm the immediate past president of the International Criminal Court Bar Association.
Sorry, sir, can I just quickly remind you that you have 90 seconds on your time and your microphone might shut down.
Okay. I'm now the lead counsel for Darfur at the International Criminal Court on other situations over 20 years. Now, my program, Excellency, is first and foremost to thank you so much because you are a politician of vision and record. And I say so because you are the first I've had to put security ahead of every preoccupation. And also you are the first to have put the right of your constituents to a free franchise, free poll, a constitutional right to elect their governor. I praise you for that. That is very rare on the African continent. My background in the Tribunal for Rwanda, for Sierra Leone, and as counsel in the situation in Kenya, Darfur, and as leader of the bar at the International Criminal Court teaches me that regular politicians and people who want power for the sake of power go out and incite people to die. On the contrary, I heard you a while ago saying that you have programs to take these young men off the street. I've been very occupied with my friend Matthew Wifo about the young people who are dying in the desert in the Mediterranean Sea, many of them from Edo State, and also the social programs you put in place to develop all parts of Edo so that they can come back and help to rebuild Edo and Africa. You are the first of its kind in Africa, and I thank you for that. My question is this: is there any place in your program where you think you can partner with Edo diaspora, international partners, to strengthen this program of taking these young people off the street and making their lives useful for Edo, so the rest of Africa and those of us at the level of international justice can benefit on in order to help other countries to rebuild their system and keep these young people ahead, so that they should no longer die in the ocean, in the Mediterranean, and also in the Sahara Desert. Thank you, Your Excellency.
Thank you very much. I think with the length of the questions we have, we'll just want the governor and his deputy to, to quickly just give answers to these before we move forward. Thank you so much.
Deputy Philip, you want to take the question on collected PVCs? And I can now talk about the partnership with the diaspora.
Please, can we unmute the deputy if he's muted, please? Backroom staff.
Can you, Your Excellency?
Yes. He's unmuted.
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. The issue of the uncollected PVCs, we are actually monitoring, and by as at last week, the information that we have is that all the PVCs uncollected have been mopped, and they are kept in CBN for safekeep. So they are no longer with INEC. They have not collected all of them, and they are in CBN safe. No, because of COVID-19, there won't be any collection of PVC by anybody for now until after the election and when the lockdown, partial lockdown is over. So they are all in CBN for now for safekeep, and we are sure that they will not be used for the elections. But even at that, we are still monitoring because we already have the total number of PVC that are collected, and we are putting in place a lot of modalities to make sure that those unused PVCs do not surface through back door or front door. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. His Excellency, Honorable Philip Shaibu. Of course, the Governor Gov Obaseki will now take, answer the next question. Yeah.
Okay. So before I call my panelist number 2, I have a question from Mr. Joseph Ogbemudia for the governor to answer. Mr. Ogbemudia said, Your Excellency, you have well informed us in your manifesto that security, amongst other areas, is your top priority in Edo State. However, we are currently experiencing a high rise in concerns in regards to declaring support for you due to the level of intimidation and violence attack towards your supporters. So my question is, what plans do you have in place to assure people, your supporters, that they will feel safe to openly declare support for you and to go to the polling booths on the voting day and feel safe that they'll be able to vote for you? That's from Joseph Ogbemudia.
Thank you very much. You have just made it 2 questions for the governor. I think we should take it slow.
Okay.
The governor already have a question that he's here to respond to.
Yes. And where is it now?
Yes, please. Can we unmute the governor if his mic is muted, please? Backroom staff. Are we there? The governor doesn't seem to be in the room at this moment.
We lost him.
Perhaps a technical issue.
Okay. His Excellency, sir, Honorable Philip Shaibu, sir, you want to take a go at this? We have 2 questions. The one was bordering on Nigerians in the diaspora.
Yes.
And the second one is actually bordering on security, sir.
Mr. I think the Deputy Governor is muted.
Please, can we unmute His Excellency, the Deputy Governor, please? Backroom staff, please.
Thank you very much. Yes, thank you very much. The issue of security, we are looking at it, and we have our plans on how to secure our vote and also secure our people. We have a system in the country where the governor is the chief security officer of the state, while the security gets their control from the federal. And there is an aberration in that constitutional provision, giving the power of security to the governor in the state, whereas he does not have control over the police or the military. They get their orders from the federal. But even at that, what we've done is to get the traditional institution through getting our vigilantes, getting our POV to gather intelligence, which will help us to also monitor the election. The security for now, we are working very hard to make sure that they are not compromised and to make sure that they do the right thing. And the governor is clear about this election. We need them to do the right thing. We need the vote of the people to count. There are a lot of intimidation, obviously, by the opposition. They've been intimidating us. Just yesterday, we were in Ward 10 in my local government, where the immediate past governor came from, Oshomole. And before we got there, they started shooting to disperse our supporters. But we're able to, the security were at their best anyway to dispatch them, and we still had our rallies. There are pockets of such things which we are monitoring, and we are also making sure that these people are arrested and prosecuted. But we hope that at the end of the day, before the election, we will have a peaceful election and some of these people will be apprehended. For the issue of partnership with diaspora, that is one major project that Mr. Governor is interested in. If you realize, those from Canada, the governor visited Canada in one of the programs that was held sometime last year or 2 years ago, where he gave his take on partnership with those in diaspora, because you have access to most of these grants, you have access to most of these facilities that could help us to also optimize our level of development in the state. Because we've discovered that government alone cannot deal with the issue of development without partnership with private sector, and at the same time with most of you in diaspora, because you have global access to some of these needs that we have. So in terms of partnership, even our opposition, the opposition party are already using it, even against us, which because they don't have the knowledge of what we are doing, and they are short-sighted. For instance, they say we signed MOUs with different companies. Some of these memorandum of understanding are things we have set up to partner with diaspora, partners with business community to be able to fast track our development, like the Osiomo power plant, which before the election, by the grace of God, will be on to provide electricity for our industrial hubs and some of our major facilities in the state. So I want to tell Chief Charles Taku that window is very, very open, and we have that in our program for development.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Philip Shaibu, the Deputy Governor of Edo State. Well, we are glad to have the governor back, but I will just hand over to my colleague, Lady Esusa Dogiawere, to call on the next panelist, please.
Okay. Our second panelist is Dr. Idemudia, Dr. Taiwo Idemudia. Dr. Taiwo Idemudia is from the United Kingdom. He's a renowned member of the Odionwere Council of the United Kingdom and Ireland. Dr. Idemudia is a retired Nigerian gas company in Nigeria, NNPC, and one-time market analysis and head of economic for OPEC. Sir, Dr. Idemudia, what's your question?
Thank you very much, Mrs. Dogiawere. Deeply appreciated. Your Excellencies, the Governor, Governor Obaseki, and Deputy Governor Shaibu, it's my great pleasure, and I thank you for all you've done in the state. In your first term, you have laid a solid foundation for development and security in Edo State. From your performance, we look forward to your second term, where you will certainly take the state to a level of preparedness for self-sustained growth, and progress. Question is, what institutions and policies, Your Excellency, would you leave in place at the end of your second term to ensure that the gains and achievements of your administration are safeguarded and kept for Edo posterity? It would be nice to know, and really good to have this opportunity to interact with you.
Your Excellencies, are you there? The Governor of Edo State, Governor Gov Obaseki, is it there? Please, backroom staff, see if he's muted so we can unmute him.
His microphone.
Just the video.
He hasn't got video, but his microphone is actually moving. Shall we give him a moment to come back, and then he can answer the questions?
Okay, while we are waiting for the governor to maximize time, I will call again on His Excellency the Deputy Governor, Right Honorable Philip Shaibu, to take a go at this. Your Excellency, sir.
Yeah.
Please, can we unmute the
thank you very much.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you very much. One of the the politics we have in the country now, many people think dividends of democracy is just tying the roads and building the schools. That is a given for this administration. But one critical gains that we have achieved in this government that is not visibly seen is in terms of policies and institutionalizing most of the work that we are doing. For instance, the issue of projects, the issue of making Edo State an industrial hub in the country. I think the governor is back.
I think he's back.
I don't think it's fully back yet.
Okay.
It's audio. Audio is ready.
Audio is on, but okay.
Now he's back.
He's back.
Your Excellency, sir, we are still here.
Can you unmute me, please?
Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm sorry for the glitches in technology. Thank you very much, Dr. Taiwo Demundia, for your question. The whole mega agenda, mega manifesto is actually centered around institutionalizing the reforms we have started in the state. And what are the key pillars? First, it's actually rebuilding institutions. As you are all aware, the key institutions for governance is the bureaucracy, the civil sector. Without a bureaucracy, no system thrives, no system works in an orderly manner. And so one of the things we're doing is rebuilding, reintroducing life into our public service. We're, ensuring that we meet our commitments, we pay salaries on time, we pay pensions when they leave, so give them that sense of security, to make sure that we focus on capacity building, on training. If you come to Benin now, we've just finished building the John Odigbe Oyegu Public Service Academy, where we will undertake very thorough training of all our public servants across every cadre. The whole idea is to make sure that we begin to institutionalize everything we do. We make sure that the public service, civil service runs the way it should, make sure that people are employed properly and trained to do the function, do the work of the proper governance. Furthermore, we are looking at beyond us, beyond our time. We will be developing in very great details with world-class professionals, economists, planners a third development for Edo State, which will cover every spectrum of our life. Both social services, healthcare, education, physical space, roads, infrastructure across the state, so that subsequent administrations, when they come in, they know what to do. They know where we are and what to do next. As I speak, we didn't meet anything. So we've essentially just been doing the best we can using, the advantages we had in governance and in our previous lives. So to answer your question, again, the whole mega agenda is not about just doing short-term initiatives today. It's about creating institutions, processes, policies, and plans that will lead us to where we believe Edo should be headed, or where Edo should be within the next 3 decades.
Okay. Good.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. That was indeed deep and incisive. Of course, I've got 3 names here, among the Zoom floor participants that we are going to take questions from. But before I go into this, Your Excellency, I wish to ask this. Sir, this whole election process is majorly, amongst other things, about one thing, and that is Edo people's willingness to join your administration to fight off godfatherism. Of course, the story is everywhere. Almost every Edo person knows what is happening in Edo State. But the question I wish to ask, sir, is, by the end of your second tenure, will you yourself assure Edo people that you will not be a godfather?
Well, I didn't grow up in the tradition of political godfatherism, so I don't know.
Audio connection, no?
I think the audio is not very great.
Just the line is fluctuating.
Okay, because we intend to maximize time as much as
yes,
possible.
absolutely.
Please, can we unmute His Excellency the Deputy Governor to give Edo people the assurance that the governor of Edo State will not, at the end of his tenure, be a godfather himself? Your Excellency, sir. Right Honorable Philip Shaibu. Please, can we unmute him?
Yeah, thank you very much again. We actually came in to serve, and we came with a vision. And the fight that we have today is about the vision of the state. And what is that vision? That vision is to free the resources of Edo for development of Edo, not for some particular individual. And I can assure you that that is the fight. And godfatherism is going to be buried in this election. And when it is buried, I can tell you cannot rear its ugly head again, because the backwardness of Edo State was as a result of some cabal just taking our collective heritage and our resources for our private use. I am telling you, this election is about that. This election will settle that. And I can tell you, after this election, nobody, no one man can determine who governs the state. It's going to be collective. We came on the mantra in 2007, mantra of let the people lead. And the people must lead. And when the people lead, it's obvious that those in leadership will do the will of the people. Because for them to remain in governance, the people must be satisfied. And they know that if the people are not satisfied, they will use their PVC to vote them out. And that is how Edo State will actually get to that vision that we have for it. Without us returning politics back to the people, our state will never get to that level of development we want it. And that is what we believe in. And that is what this fight is all about.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. I believe very strongly that your response will definitely elicit hope and, of course, trust in the people of Edo State. We just go straight to the Zoom floor right now, and I have the pleasure to call on Darlington Ukbebulu Ray. Can we locate him and unmute him? Darlington Ukbebulu Ray. Please be reminded that you have 90 seconds, a minute 30 seconds to ask your question. Okay. Good evening, Your Excellency. I quickly want to dwell on security since that is the topic for the day. I am Darlington Dokpewolore. I am in Leeds, United Kingdom, the publisher of Olika Reporters News, online news. I want to find out what the governor, the question is actually for the governor or the deputy, any one of them can take it, the plans they have to secure the state from the hands of the Fulani henchmen. Right now, as we speak, I can tell you categorically as a journalist by the investigation we carried out on our publication that some communities in Edo North, communities in Edo South, communities in Edo Central, and as we speak, not doing their daily activities or what they are known for, farming, because the Fulani henchmen are taking over their farmland and raping, kidnapping, and killing our people. Now, we have also found out that the APC government is a government that is friendly to the Fulani people and the Fulani henchmen. What do we intend to do to have confidence returned to these communities? For example, a community like Okay, sorry, Darlington, I don't wish to be rude. I'm sure the governor already understands the direction of the question. We quickly want to take the next person.
Thank you.
We need to maximize time. Sorry, sir. The next person to ask a question, I'm sure that one is noted by His Excellency, is Brown Osenegie. Are you there? Can we unmute him on her? Brown, okay, him. Can we unmute Brown Osenegie, please? Brown Osenegie.
Hello.
Yes, we can hear you, sir. Please, just go straight to the question, sir.
Thank you so much. I appreciate. I would like to thank the Excellency for making up time to take questions on issues that matters to us. And I also like to thank the host, Dr. Lorenta and Cole, that has made it possible for us to refocus on conversation that is important to the people. My question is, a lot has happened in the news media, and it is very easy to become desensitized to the people. And we, the Edo people in diaspora, are very passionate people, and we are also very educated people. And some of us believe that we are more equipped to become Prime Minister of Canada or Prime Minister of Britain, but we cannot just decide to return home for reasons based on the issue of security. I was going to ask the state government, because some of us understand that the Southwest have started their own policing system. When is Edo State going to start its own policing system, as well as if there's anything on the mega plan on how to fight against poverty, as well as to give justice.
Mr. Brown, sorry, I don't wish to be rude again. The time has elapsed. I'm sure the governor, His Excellency, is taking note of that. We quickly want to take the third one, before His Excellencies, will respond. And this one is coming from Itohan Evagaru. Please, is she there? Itohan Evagaru. Please, let's unmute her if she's there, please.
Hello, good evening.
Thank you very much.
I'm just going to put myself on camera real quickly. So my question for the governor and the deputy governor, I hope to be amplified, is really youth-based. I currently represent youth voices at our local government here at Toronto City Council. So I'm hoping to have some of my thoughts amplified on this call very briefly. My question simply is, I think there's a misconception when it comes to I think there's a misconception when it comes to youth and the security that goes on in Edo State or anywhere in Nigeria. Of course, a huge reason for thuggery in Nigeria, of course, is unemployment. But I think it goes beyond that. when you compare the systems to any other systems in the diaspora, one thing that I think we lack in Nigeria is, that path for communication with our local government and in all aspects. I feel like the youth in many ways feel very left out, which leads them to have disrespect for the people that they should ultimately have the respect for, the people who they should be able to communicate with and join hands with. So my question for Your Excellency, both excellencies here, Deputy Governor and Governor Obaseki, is what are you guys doing to really ensure the youth of Nigeria, more specifically Edo State, that there will be a clear path for communication, that there will be a way to network with you guys at our local government to ensure that all our matters are heard, because it goes beyond just unemployment. Many times the youth just don't care because they say, you know what, we can't really put our hand in. So if we can't put our hand in, let's go against. So I'm hoping you guys can answer my question. Thank you very much.
Brilliant, thank you.
Thank you very much, Ituhan. We've got 3 questions. I'm sure the excellencies have taken note. The first one borders on Fulani herdsmen. The second one borders on state policing. And of course, the third one, I think, borders on, the voice of the people being heard by government. For Your Excellency, sir, Governor Godwin Obaseki, I think he actually would like to take a go at the one for the Fulani herdsmen. Please, can we unmute him?
Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
I think there's also some technical issues again.
Okay, while we are waiting for His Excellency, this is a team. The government is always a continuum, and I think the Deputy Governor can quickly.
I think he's back now.
Okay, he's back. Okay.
Okay. Thank you. The issue of Fulani herdsmen as it relates to security in Nigeria must be seen within a broader context of national security. That this is a problem that's affecting the whole of the Sahel of Africa. But that's not enough excuse to justify why it's continuing to happen. Clearly, much more could and should be done, particularly because our security structure is highly centralized. You've heard in this conversation that even though I'm the governor of Edo State and the chief security officer, I have very little control over the apparatus, the security apparatus in my state.
Inside the fridge.
Control over the police. I don't have
Maybe they are
control over
finished. I have person.
and therefore, that limits my capacity as a governor to have the instruments of coercion, the instruments of state to effect security to the extent that we should. However, what we have done in Edo State is to rethink the security architecture of the state. Am I being heard?
Yes, sir. We're hearing you, sir.
Yes.
Okay.
We can hear
It's to rethink the security architecture of Edo State and to see how we can align it with what exists at the federal level today. Security is local because the crimes are committed within certain localities. So what we have done is to look at security from the base, from the communities, and to see how we can organize security at the communities through the vigilante or civil defense arrangement. And fine, we cannot buy sophisticated weapons for them, but for what the law allows them to use now, we are supporting them. We are also revamping our forest guards. I mean, because these are people who are trained to go into the forest and can get information. We are also organizing and helping put together a hunters associations because we realize that a lot of these herdsmen operate in the forests. And so we're trying to support them, with organization, with mobility, so that they can respond very quickly to crimes. We are also giving them communication tools so that they can report incidents, report whatever occurrences they see in the forests or in communities, into a central location. We are also partnering with the federal government's new initiative termed community policing, where they intend to train a constabulary force for communities. So there'll be a constable in every community, and we will then align that to what the vigilantes, the hunter associations, and all the other forest guards are doing in those communities. Security is about intelligence gathering, and the more we can get more intelligence and prepare response, we believe that we will be able to deal with the incidents. But we like I said, more can be done if we get a lot more support from the federal government. So I don't know if that answers your question as it relates to the issue of local security and the herdsmen clashes. So our response, in a nutshell, our response to the farmer herdsmen clashes, first to separate these clashes. There are two components. There are those that are just normal conflicts between people who are grazing, grazing their cows, and the owners of the farms. And then there are the ones that are more gruesome, the ones that are actually, it's like they are headsmen on the surface, but underneath it, these are real bandits and criminals who go in to just kill, rape, and kidnap. So we try to separate those. For those who, in the latter category, who are just sheer criminals, those ones come with very sophisticated weapons, and we need a lot of help from federal forces to combat them. But for the earlier category of those who are just grazing and have conflicts in the communities, they already have a dispute resolution mechanism through which such conflicts are resolved.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. I'm sure the Deputy Governor will want to take a go at, of course, I see from what the Excellency's response, of course, he has actually answered the first two questions bordering on Fulani herdsmen and state police. I think the Deputy Governor will now want to take a go at the last question, which I think borders actually on the relationship between the people and government, bridging the gap.
Yeah. If I heard her very well, she also talked about job opportunities and that. Yeah. What we have done at the inception of this administration was because we promised that we're going to create jobs, and what we've done is to create a system. It's part of our institutionalizing our programs. We have a program we call a Do Job, and that a Do Job, we monitor jobs. We match job, we monitor the number of jobs we created, we monitor the number of jobs lost. So every month we monitor that particular thing. And that also, I Do Job also help to activate a lot of things from the young ones, especially the unemployed and the skilled and unskilled. We created a system where we train and retrain. We created a system where we have innovation hubs and creative hubs, where these artisans also are given opportunity to do things. Because we also discovered that the easiest way to actually solve the issue of insecurity beyond is not just by building prison yards, it's also to create opportunity. And it's like a one-stop shop. We are dealing with issue of unemployment, and we're also helping to deal with the issue of trafficking. So because when there is something to do, when there's job to do at home, it makes traveling out for greener pasture very will not be attractive. And so we've done that through a Do Job. And in terms of communication, we have a system in place that deal with it from bottom up. We've created a lot of appointments for us to be able to communicate government policies down to the wards. What we did is to make sure that our policies are from the wards. Everything we do from the budget end comes from the ward, and from bottom up approach that we approach all our things. So we have in every ward, for instance, we have special assistant to the governor that his responsibility is not only to monitor in terms of security, but also to check projects and issues that border in that community. And we get feedback through the Office of the Special Advisor Politica to the governor. So with that, we're able to also pass the message through that same source to the community. And in education, we have what we call school management board in every ward. And we also, that also help us to collate ideas, collate management system, and also help us to drive home policies of government to the ward. Because most times, things end up at the state level. That's what we found out when we came in. And we decided that it's had to be bottom-up approach. And that's why we created those programs to help us drive home government policies, and also to make sure that it's not like top-down, but we are formulating policies that are bottom-up.
Yeah, in addition to her, I mean, I really liked your question. You see, the whole concept of us being in government and talking about making Edo great again, is to address that issue that you raised, which is of great concern to us, because it's about tomorrow, it's about the young people of today. How do you get them to have a sense of belonging, to feel that this is our society, this is our community, and how do we contribute, you know, and feel that we are heard? And at the base of it all is rethinking and revamping our educational system. You know, what you are taught and how you are taught at a very early age is very, very important in forming your attitude and your response to your society or community. We noticed that that was broken, and people, unfortunately, the people who were there before us, they didn't seem to care. It was all about what they could make for themselves while in government. And, you know, they thought they had options. You know, they could take as much and then send their own children abroad or escape the system, have them destroy the system. So what we are about is how to rebuild the base. And that's what my deputy was saying. How, you know, you can affect community at the base, affect young people at a very early age, give them the proper foundations, give them proper training, proper education, prepare them for work, retool their education so that it's education for employment, and then begin to create an enabling environment for society to thrive, for the young people to thrive, for them to feel a sense of involvement, for them to be able to actualize themselves in life. That is what this is all about.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Your Excellency. That was a very, very detailed explanation. So shall we move swiftly, Comrade Lamte, to the next panelist?
Go ahead, ma'am.
Okay. So our next panelist is Nekmen Obaseki. She's joining us from Canada today. Nekmen is a Benin cultural propagator and the founder of Nebo TV in Toronto. Miss Nekmen, what's your question, please? Can we find Nekmen?
Hello?
Yes.
Hello?
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Good evening, Your Excellency. My name is Nekmen Obaseki from Canada. Thank you, Your Excellency, for your reputable work in Edo State, your love for the people of Edo State. Thank you so much. Your Excellency, you know that security is very paramount in this upcoming election. You have many supporters, but some of your supporters are very bold campaigning for your re-election. And there are security threats from the opposition. My question is, as the incumbent governor of Edo State, how will you provide security for some of your supporters who are receiving threat messages from the opposition, and deal with any security issue that will limit the ability of Edo citizens from voting in this next election, Your Excellency?
Thank you, Nekmen.
Should I answer, or we'll take more questions?
No, I think this is just the one for now.
Okay, thank you, Nekmen. Yes, you have raised an issue that is very, germane, and it's of great concern to us. I am the Chief Security Officer. It's my responsibility to ensure that people, lives and property are safe in Edo State. But when the Chief Security Officer is the one being attacked, what do you do? I think that's the key question.
Mm.
A couple of things. First, last week I spoke to the international community, a group of diplomats, to inform them as to what is going on in Edo State. And I mean, part of what we're doing with this session is for all you also to raise your voices and speak as one, and implore the federal government, the security agencies that have the force of state, that have the instruments of coercion, to please do what is right by ensuring they protect us and they help save Edo from crisis. The opposition party, for the opposition party, is a deliberate strategy. They know that they cannot win an election. They know clearly that Edo people are in one voice and one accord, and we've decided on where we want to go. So for them, they just want to be spoilers.
That's, if we can just give him a brief minute for him to get back with us.
Let us create as much crisis. So there are strategies. First, a lot of negative propaganda and falsehoods. And secondly, intimidation. You know, tearing down my posters, smashing cars, sending threatening calls. But we are much more than them. So they cannot overwhelm us. That is the good side of, but they want to provoke us into violence so that they will have excuses to either postpone the elections or to declare the elections as inconclusive. Mm-hmm. These are all tools of the opposition to truncate democracy. And we have reported, we know who the culprits are, we know who their sponsors are, and we'll just keep putting pressure, and I will just implore all of you to come out, condemn it, tell your governments abroad, let them know what is going on in Edo State.
Mm.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency. As a matter of fact, this particular question, and the response from His Excellency is one matter that is at the heart of the whole situation in Edo State. And before I actually call in the next group of Zoom floor, members, I would like to recognize the presence of Chief Charles Taku from the International Court of Justice. And we are glad that he's here, he's listening. And of course, from the international community, we hope that the needful would be done by the international community through Chief Taku to equally, zero their eye and focus a lot, on this electoral process. Hopefully that may bring some checks and, balance, as it were. But I'll just go to the Zoom floor right now. And the list I have here, I have Dr. Grace Ogieho Inoma. Can we locate her and unmute her, please? Dr. Grace Ogieho Inoma.
Yes.
Let's be reminded that you have just 1 minute, 30 seconds to ask your question.
Okay, I'll go straight to the question. I thank you, Your Excellencies. I'm standing on the existing protocol. My own honorable governor, I just want to bring to your attention, 4 years ago, you were in New York, and you had promised one day the only local government without a general hospital. And that is a hospital we started, and you said you were going to help us complete it. That is, was awarded, the contract was awarded, and up till now, the hospital have not started. So now when I call people at home to vote for you, they say, no, you did not fulfill your promise of that hospital. I'm still persuading them. So are you going to promise us that your second tenure we will have a general hospital in Wonder Place?
Thank you very much. I will quickly zero into Gladys right now, Gladys Williams, to ask you that question.
Let me answer. I don't promise that I will put a general hospital in Wonder, because the general hospital is not the solution to our healthcare challenges. We have almost 24 general hospitals in Edo State. They're not working or providing healthcare. So adding more general hospitals does not mean healthcare. What we are doing is something which is much more comprehensive. In Rwanda, for instance, there are about 24 communities or 25 communities where you don't have any health facility. What we're doing is building from the base, putting primary health care centers in each community, ensuring that there is light, you have solar power, that there's water, there's accommodation for health workers, and then there's technology so that we can tend to people who have ailments before the ailments get serious. Yes, we will consider as part of our health plan at some point to build a trauma hospital in Rwanda, in that axis, if we can't deal with the accident victims in the other existing facilities in around Iroa and in Benin. Part of our problems as a country is we keep building. We keep focusing on infrastructure, and we found out that infrastructure alone does not provide the service. We have, for us as a government, we do not want to deceive people anymore. We have had the opportunity now to really review and understand the challenges we face in the healthcare system. It's first strengthening the primary healthcare center, making sure you bring healthcare closer to people. I cannot accept any situation anymore where women are being delivered with torchlights in their communities. It's unacceptable. And we'll rather focus our resources in building the base and have a few centers of excellence. We have a few well-equipped general hospitals. Our general hospitals should now be referral centers. It's not where people go and treat malaria, typhoid, or even have deliveries.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency. Thank you. With the response of His Excellency, of course, Edo people can be sure that there's hope for a better hope for tomorrow, and a bright one at that. I quickly want to call on Gladys Williams now to ask her question. Please, can we unmute Gladys if she's there?
She's unmuted already.
Gladys Williams.
Hello. Hello, everyone. Good evening. I want to use this medium to thank my Excellency, my father, His Excellency Governor Godwin Obaseki, the matter one of Edo. Your Excellency, sir, I thank you for your time spending with us all together. I must say you are a great man. And I go further straight to my question. My question here is, Your Excellency, sir, the incident of the burning of the market is really not good at all and is affecting most of our mothers, our widows in the state. And for the last few months, you promised them, and they all really, and they rely on you, and they are hoping to hear from you, and they are willing to get from you. And I want to know, what is the fate of this, our mothers, our sisters, our brothers? What are their fate of relying on you? What are their expects? What are they expecting from you? What did you have for them, Your Excellency?
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. As part of the opposition strategy, they started burning markets. They burned 4 markets. Yeah. They burned Ogiso, they burned Alba Market. And, even those people were arrested, I can tell you, the police refused to prosecute. But we've said that doesn't, we cannot continue to leave our people suffering. I've made 200 million naira available. We've done what we are vetting of all the traders whose names with their shops that were given. As at last week, when we had a meeting with them, we said, look, they were asking that we give them grants only, that we should just give them money. And we said, fine. We could do some of that. So we'll give you some grants, but we'll also give you interest-free loans to rebuild your businesses. So we've marked a certain amount of a certain portion of the 200 as grants, so we can give everybody affected as an amount to use in restarting their business. But in addition, we'll have a portion which are interest-free loans where people who can now take more money but pay back that portion. We've vetted them. Urban market, I think about 120. Giso market, I can't remember. But on the whole, there's about 400 of them.
All right, sir.
Okay, thank you so much, Your Excellency. That again elicits hope for Edo people. Thank you so much, sir. Before I call on Walter Ihaza from the Zoom floor audience. I see you, Omode Agbons, Irikefe. You are thanking the Deputy Governor, His Excellency, Right Honorable Philip Shaibu, for his loyalty. Thank you very much, sir. I'm sure he gets your message. Now, I call on Walter Ihaza to ask his question. Mr. Walter, sir, if we can find him, let's unmute him quickly. You've got 90 seconds to ask your question. Is he there? Walter Ihaza, is it there? If it's not there, I'm going to move on to the next person. All right, I'll call on Peter Imanlenowa. Imanlenowa, Peter. Are you there, sir? Peter Imanlenowa, can we find him and unmute him, please?
Yes. I'm here.
Okay, you've got 90 seconds, sir. Please go ahead.
Yeah, good morning all from here, Australia. My question is for the Deputy Governor. Honorable Deputy, sir, you have strongly spoken about your loyalty and the reasons you became an activist. That you will never compromise your conscience for just. Please, can you tell us what you know about the governor that we don't know?
Thank you. That's a brilliant one. Your Excellency, sir. Right Honorable Philip Shaibu.
Your Excellency, unmute your mic, sir.
Try to unmute it. Mute me. Okay. Thank you very much. Yeah, that is a very good question and very tricky also. Yeah, what I know about the governor is that he's a man that actually believes that Edo State has to be an industrial state, and Edo State have to take advantage of its geographical location, and also believe in the future of Edo State. And that is founded in all the policies that we are implementing today. And before he became governor, he actually gave everything to the state for 8 years. He was the chairman of the economic team, and he was the brain boss of that administration. And he was able to draw a lot of grants and a lot of investment into Edo State. And as governor, he has continued with that process. And beyond making Edo State a hub, he has also started building the foundation for the future of the young ones. And you will see it just like he just answered the issue of healthcare. What we are doing today in the educational sector from the Edo-based revolution that he has started, in the next 4 to 5 years, you will see a revolution in education. We are now having children that are learning, not schooling. In the past, they are schooling, now they are learning. So this governor that you see is a sincere person, and is a man that do not say what he cannot do. Even when you put a gun on his head, he will just say it the way it is. He's not packed up. He has a focus. He's focused. His eyes is on the ball, and everything about him, like he has always said, he has spent 32 years of his life in private sector and helping the private sector to grow. Now he's coming home to deal with the issue of Edo, where those in diaspora and those within the country can have an Edo that is not only secure, but an Edo that wealth will be redistributed through creation of jobs and creation of opportunity. So that at the end of the day, Edo will be the true Edo. So the governor, in a simplified manner, is a sincere man, is a man that believes in the future of our state, is a man that you can trust.
Thank you very much. There is no better person to do this, but the Right Honorable Deputy Governor himself, Right Honorable Philip Shaibu. Thank you so much. Before I, pass the baton to my colleague to call the next panelist, of course, we see you, we hear you. This is a message from Saliu Irega, and he or she says SBMC is the best thing to ever happen to our children. He says he or she is very proud of the governor and his team for doing a beautiful job. Thank you very much, Saliu Irega. I'm sure the governor and his deputy, they hear you and they hear Edo people. Yes, Lady Esosa, over to you. Okay, the governor wants to say.
Can I talk about SBMC? I'm not sure how many people really know what the SBMC is. The SBMC is a school-based management committee. Every Edo-based school in Edo State has a committee of, let me say, volunteers, people who live in the community, who are more like the supervisors of that school.
I think we got some technical issues.
They've taken an interest because the school is in their community. And they're made up of teachers, they're made up of parents, they're made up of community leaders, clergy people, and they have done an amazing work. What they've helped us do is to take ownership of the school system. In the past, government goes in there, builds schools, and before you know what, the furniture is stolen. Nobody cares if the teacher comes to class. Nobody cares if the children are in school. But members of the school-based management committee have taken the schools as theirs. They've adopted the children in the schools, and our school system is now working at the base. I want to thank all of them most sincerely. And for all of you in the diaspora, please take an interest in your school, the school you attended. Go to the Edo-based website, locate it, and you can support the school-based management committee in your community.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Now, before I move on to the next panelist, panelist number 4, I would just want to quickly remind the Excellency on Mr. Taku's question, which you were trying to answer earlier before the line went a little bit busy. So Mr. Taku had some questions for you earlier. I'm not sure if you remember what the question was all about.
I remember. It had to do with the issue of irregular migration and the number of Edo people, citizens who get caught in this unfortunate incidents or situations, and the kind of help and support that the diaspora can give. I want to just let the House know that, when we came into office, one of the things we could never live with was this whole issue of human trafficking and irregular migrations by Edo people. I mean, you could remember the stigma at that point in time. When you talk about trafficking, it was all about Edo. At one point in time, there were no less than 30,000 Edo young men and women in Libya trying to cross the Mediterranean into Europe. And that was a thing of concern. But even what was even more worrisome for me was while I was campaigning in 2016, it was an issue you could not talk about. It was, oh, no, don't talk about it because, it's one issue that brings a lot of money home for families. And I'm saying, what? I mean, so it couldn't be talked about. If you mentioned it, you might not get votes. That was how bad it was. So for us, once we got in, we were very clear and determined that it was something we had to stop because it had moved beyond even trafficking, irregular migration. It had moved into slavery. Edo people who were never sold into slavery in ancient times were now selling themselves or being sold into slavery. And for me, it was totally, totally unacceptable. Yes. So we had to deal with it from two perspectives. First, how do we just curb the incidence of human trafficking today? And we set up a task force, which has been applauded by the international community. And I want to use this opportunity to thank the chairman of the task force and members of the task force. The records are there. 2 years on, Edo is no longer the capital or the hub of human trafficking. So that's what we've done on the short-term end. Yes. The long-term end, that's why we've continued to be, that's why we want to continue. We are fixing those things that made those children make the wrong decisions in the first place. Proper education, rebuilding the communities, providing infrastructure and amenities in those communities so that home is like home. You cannot say, what sort of life is it when you say anywhere else but home, So we're doing all of those, and then, but we like to travel. Our people like to travel, and so part of the conversations we're having with with the the task force is having with the EU and some other countries, it's like, fine, even if people have to travel, let them travel legally. We'll create centers here, centers to train people in hospitality, in nursing, in the skills. So even if people have to travel, they don't have to travel through the Sahara and under those treacherous and dangerous circumstances. So those are the things we're doing. And I want to thank the diaspora, the Edo diaspora. They've been quite supportive. They've given us information. They've helped, rescue people who are caught in all sorts of, unfortunate circumstances abroad. And, I think we have made significant progress. It's something we're proud of. And I'm sure that's one of the reasons why some of the European countries are very concerned about the Edo elections, that they don't want a situation where we'll go back, because this whole politics of godfatherism and what have you are the sort of things that have encouraged that situation. The last point I want to make, and which I stressed to the diplomats I spoke with last week, and I'm sure the Dr. made a point that let the message be loud and clear to all of those who are perpetuating electoral violence that there are international ramifications and consequences. Those who are perpetuating electoral violence and they think they can throw Edo into crisis, let them be told that they or their families will not be allowed to travel out of Edo or Nigeria, and we will deal with the consequences of the crisis they are trying to create. They cannot create problems and escape. I hope they know, and the international community should tell them that.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Your Excellency. So let's move swiftly to panelist number 4. He's Mr. Hubert Igbinoba. He's joining us from Australia today. Mr. Igbinoba is an international logistic expert in Australia. And Mr. Igbinoba, give us your question, please, Mr. Igbinoba.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, the Deputy as well. My question is, you said you don't have full control over security of the state. Can the state create its own security forces? Edo State security forces? Is it possible? And the second question will be,
Mr. Hubert,
sorry, you are allowed to ask one question, please. One question, please. And that will be taken by the Deputy Governor, the Honorable Deputy Governor, please. Yes?
We are muting,
Deputy Governor, please.
His Excellency, Right Honorable Philip Shaibu, please.
Your Excellency, can you unmute yourself?
Okay, thank you. Yeah, just like the governor said earlier on the issue of security, we have our own security architecture, and that security architecture actually was formulated when the present IG was still AIG in Edo State, and that is what is leading to the community policing they are trying to establish now, which has been launched in the country, in this Edo State. It was launched in Edo State, and they are doing it around the country. But beyond that, we locally, we decided to invest in the vigilantes and the local hunters, because that will help us to deal with the issue of these S-men. And also the POF is also there to help us gather information from all the wards and units. We have established that outfit to also back up the community policing that is presently on. And just last 2 weeks, the senatorial launches were done, and they are in the process of formulating and collating the names that will start up that program. But what we have done as a state is just to invest more on the vigilantes and to reorganize them properly and also make them work.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you very much.
We are going to go straight to the Zoom floor panelists again. We're going to take 3 questions. But just before we do that, as a rejoinder to the last question, sir, this section is actually bordering on security, focusing on security. Recently, sir, the news, we got a news across, the diaspora that the entourage of the governor while campaigning Edo North was actually attacked. Now, apart from that, we have seen pockets of situations where supporters of the of Governor Obaseki get attacked. One actually, was even on social media recently, making a whole lot of wave and all of that. Looking at all of this, people want to know, sir, what is government actually doing as a decisive step to deal with this menace?
Very good. That was exactly the question that was asked by Mr. Joseph Ogbamudia earlier, who talk about one of the most recent terrifying incidents that happened on Wednesday, in which Mr. John Bull Imande, who openly supports Your Excellency, was grievously attacked and beaten up in Urorigbe community. And Mr. Ogbamudia wanted to know, what plans do you have in place to assure your supporters that they are safe to openly support you or travel to the polling booths on the day of the election to actually vote for you without them getting hurt? Your Excellency, please.
The Deputy Governor take that because he's been working.
Yes.
Yeah, good.
Can we unmute the Deputy Governor, please?
Quite a bit on this.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, the issue of security, we apart from working with the conventional security affixed, the police, the army, we also have, as a matter of assuring our people to come out, we have also mobilized them. We are actually mobilizing them to just gather information and let us have them. We are working towards making sure that the areas where those pockets of violence is possibly going to happen, to deploy a lot of police and military people in that area. But beyond that, we are also strengthening our vigilante system and the hunters to make sure that everybody secure his area. Because whether you like it or not, these people are just few persons. And that is why we also we've also written to the security agency, just like last week when we got intelligence of some of them being imported into the state to cause havoc. We're able to, through the network we have set up, to get intelligence, and we're able to resolve those issues fast. But one thing is, unlike institutions elsewhere, our institutions here are very weak and they can be swayed to any direction. And that is a major problem we're having mostly with these people, because how will you explain that you have intelligence that Comrade Adam Shomole, for instance, is harboring criminals in his house and is arming these young ones with weapons, and is not being arrested? And this information is before the security agencies. You understand? So that is the dilemma. That is the contradiction in the Constitution, where the governor is the chief security officer, where control of this security is from Abuja. And that is where I agree with Dr. Charles Taku that institutionalizing all our system will be the way out. But this problem is actually at the federal level. But at the state, we are mobilizing our own local security to make sure that we give cover to our people and make sure that on that election day, there won't be violence. And if there are, it will be isolated.
So much.
Well, and also, it's a matter we are taking up with the federal authorities. And one of the possible dangers, because this is a third time I'm being attacked as the chief security officer of the state, and no arrest or prosecution has ever occurred. I was attacked in the gates of the house of Comrade Shomole a few months ago in the company of the Oba of Lagos. Nothing happened, because the federal agencies responsible, for reasons best known to them, decided to do nothing, despite our complaints. I was attacked in the company of some other PDP governors when we went to visit the Oba of Benin's palace, and it was clear there was the evidence. People, holding banners from Captain Hosa were there. We were attacked. We reported. In fact, every time we report, it's quite interesting that when we report these incidents, they turn around to come and arrest our supporters. And the case in Iyamo, the Apana, last week was even clear. The area commander of the police force was there supervising the boys shooting. So, but we have to develop our democracy. The truth is that we're much more than them. We cannot and should not be intimidated. And, we will overcome, we'll prevail.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much.
This is we are going to go to the Zoom floor audience. Apparently, of course, Edo people are listening, and like the governor said, and rightly so, we are more than them. Yes. Okay, it's my honor to quickly call on Ambassador Ugochukwu Mora. Please, can we locate him or her? Ugochukwu Mora. Is the person still there? If not, let's go to the next one.
Here.
Okay,
yes,
sir.
I'm here.
You've
Good
got
evening, Your Excellencies. Good evening, Your Excellencies. I stand on existing protocols. My name is Ambassador Ugochukwu Mora. I'm the General Secretary of PDP UK chapter. We are very delighted to have His Excellency to the PDP, the only political party in Nigeria that has proved capacity to sustain national development and growth. We are very particular about the election in Edo State. Your victory, Your Excellency, not because of the benefit of the Edo people to your continued performance, also because we want to send the message that we go beyond the shores of Edo State, that godfatherism will be buried in this generation. Your Excellency, I'm very happy that this forum is centered on peace, security, and election violence. It might interest you to know that the PDP UK chapter have developed a technology that is capable to monitor elections in all polling units and transmit election results live. I would want to work with you in this regard as we move forward in making sure the election rigging and violence becomes an end story in Nigeria. We've recently sent a letter to you. I don't know if you've received it, Your Excellency, through the South-South caucus of the party, asking for your permission to support in your campaign. We want to commit resources. We want to have the opportunity to be able to do that. And also, Your Excellency, we also want to let you know that we are aware of the intimidation and violence in Edo State, and we want to work with your campaign so we can make the international community here in the UK, which is what we do for the party here. We have contact with several embassies in the UK where we can let them know and put pressure on the government to make sure that the will of the people will survive. So, Your Excellency, I want to thank you and assure you that the people of Edo State is on your side. We've spoken to our people and they've assured us of their support for you. Thank you, Your Excellency. I remain Ambassador Ugochukwu Mora, General Secretary, PDP UK chapter. Thank you.
Thank you, Ambassador. And we're really open and willing to collaborating and cooperating with you.
Thank you so much. Well, thank you, Ambassador. We'll move on to the next person still from the Zoom floor. This person, Mr. Joseph Arame. Please, let's locate him and unmute him quickly. Joseph Arame, are you there? Can we locate Mr. Joseph? If we cannot, then I quickly want to move to the next.
I'm here.
Okay, sir. Go ahead, sir.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Your Excellencies. I want to thank you for your time and commitment to the development of our state. I'm very concerned because this meeting has been on secure borders and security. I want to quickly, it might sound as an advice or maybe a question, I don't know. I would really want to ask that we do a proper identification for these people that would be we would be coming together or will be employed or hired. I don't know if it's a committee. I don't know how that's going to work in terms of security, but I'm talking about doing like a proper screening verification so as to know who these responsibilities are given to. Like I tell people sometimes, one thing they do, they say the police force, the police force. I ask this question: what background check sort of has the government done on these people before handing them over guns and weapons to protect our people? So this is where we find really huge problems around our security apparatus. So that's just all I want to say because of time. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think that is a comment. I will equally want to quickly call on Esosa Edo Oba Ogie. Esosa Edo Oba Ogie, please. Are you there? Can we unmute him or her, please?
Esosa Ede. Oba Ogie. Esosa. Can you unmute yourself, please?
Okay, if it's not ready, can we move on to the next person, please? Chief Kingsley Igbinoba, we need to maximize time as much as possible, please. His Excellency will be leaving shortly. Please, let's just take this.
Yeah, keep the time rolling, please.
Please. Now, if we can't find that place, can we just find Barry Idemudia?
Hello.
Go ahead, sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Hello,
Hi.
I'm here. Why are you stepping over? Hello?
Your is back on now. Why were you
Your Excellency,
Hello?
I'm Chief Kingsley Noyegas Igbinosa, the traditional head of Unwame community. I have got a question and a commendation, although I don't think there will be time for the commendation now. The security, the insecurity in the riverine area of Edo State, or rather the river-bounded communities like my Unwame, is alarming. We've got kidnappers continuously using these communities as hideouts and dumping grounds for their victims. We have had that twice this year. Also, the oil bunkers, they are known to move petroleum products through these communities. Again, I've experienced that. I experience that on a regular basis. Now, the question is, will the government of Edo State collaborate with traditional rulers like me and the river bounded communities?
Okay, thank you very much, sir. I think, sorry, sir, I have to cut in because of time. His Excellency, I want to respond to that now. Just 1 second, sir. Your Excellency, sir, do you still have time for this?
Yes, thank you very much. We are concerned about the riverine communities and incidents of crime in those communities. What we have done is to collaborate with the Nigerian police force, and the Edo State government has invested in 6 gunboats. And these are the sort of things we do. That is, we use state funds to buy equipment and pass them on to the federal agencies because they are the ones authorized by the Constitution to operate these vessels and also provide the security in these in our waterways. So we've done that. We have about 6 gunboats. They are now operational. We built a police marine base in Gelegele, and we're building another in Olobo. As 2 points, we're collaborating with the Navy on the Benin River access, the Benin River junction, where they have a base. And we're sharing information and putting in communication equipment and also liaison with communities, including their leadership, the traditional leaders within those communities, to provide information so that we can determine and know where kidnapped victims are taken to and held and how to track them.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. I will appeal quickly for us to take Mr. Esosa, who actually should have spoken before Chief Kingsley. So, sir, please, can you come on quickly, please?
Yes, I'm here. Thank you very much. I just unmuted myself.
Very quick, His Excellency will leave us soon.
Okay. Okay. A very good evening to everybody, and thank you for your contributions. Your Excellencies, I have a very simple question. It is about how security will probably impact on investment opportunity for the future. What is the state government doing as we speak for the future regarding our security position or security strategy? I believe technology is key. And is there any clear system already in place? Otherwise, we will just be talking. I believe that you have something in mind. Please share it with us. Thank you, Pat.
Okay.
Could that be a question for the Honorable Deputy?
Yes, His Excellency, Right Honorable Philip Shaibu can actually have a go at this.
You can have a go at that, yes.
Please, can we unmute him, please? Backroom staff.
Honorable Shaibu, can we unmute
himself?
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you very much. Yes, it's a whole security package. Like I said earlier, is dealing with the issue of employment, dealing with the issue of opportunity for our people to get them first to have something doing, and that will first deal with the issue of idleness, which obviously will reduce insecurity. But in terms of the program we have, the end point actually is the community policing, where the state can have control over its own security. Until that is done, we'll just depend on federal institutions. As the governor said earlier, we spend our money in buying equipment for the federal police, the army, and all the security agencies in the state. We even go further to pay allowances to these security agencies. So at the end of the day, and that is why the governor suggested, when the AIG is the one who did our security architecture, that there is need for community policing and also to have state police. And when we have this and we institutionalize them to the extent that it's not used by any politician to perpetuate fraud, then we can actually deal with it. So that is it. Because for now, we are just setting up systems where we collate information, intelligence, and this intelligence are still forwarded to the federal agencies for implementation. And until we are able to get the National Assembly to actually pass that law to have state police and community police, everything that we do is going to be just support. Because, for instance, the vigilantes and the poor and the hunters that we have set up to monitor this area, there are limits to the kind of weapons they can handle. So at the end of the day, they are just there to gather intelligence and move to this. In terms, we have a lot of things we have already planned. Technology also will help us to drive security. But these things are only going to collect intelligence. And this intelligent implementation of this intelligence is still by the federal security. So for us, it's for us to help, to get the National Assembly to pass this law of establishing community police, state police, because at the end of the day, we can fund it, because presently we are actually buying most of the materials that they are using and also paying allowances to them.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, Right Honorable Philip Shaibu. I will must let Edo people know now that we have actually come to the high point of this program.
Yeah. Was that the last Zoom conference, Zoom question, Lamte?
No, I think we've come to the high point of this program. Right. And from that speech, from response from the Deputy Governor, I want to quickly thank all participants, but of course, pass the baton to our lady in the house, Dr. Loretta, to give us a closing remark.
No. I think this is not the end, ladies and gentlemen, but this is where we stop today's program. I think the Honorable Deputy Governor should give us the closing remark. The Honorable Deputy, please.
Yes, the Deputy Governor will be giving us a closing remark. Your Excellencies, we want to thank all of you, but it is very imperative that we actually thank all those behind the scenes who make this happen every week. From Australia to Tanzania, we have Adesuwa Obasoha in America, Eredo Esosa from Canada, Emi Itoya, Andrew Ohomba, Esosa Onwe, Esosa Edogiawere, Ikpamosa Aikpitayi, Ikpamosa Oriahi, Isoke Ibie, Joe Ehigiamusoy, Johnson Odibo, Nekpe Obasi, Nosa Obaseki, Ken Oloye, Ambassador Matthew Becky Uwaifil, and we have Barrister Comrade Austin Osakwe, Dr. Nosa Obano from the US, and Peter Imalenowa, Australia, Emmanuel Obaze from Canada, Ethan Uzame, Frank Moses, Gloria Udwayekeme Efemini, Greg Omorogbe, Henry Bakare from Italy, and Iyore Iyi from Italy as well. Jeffrey Obaze all the way from South Africa, and Joel Osakwe from Botswana. We have Johnson from Germany, and Hubert from Australia, Keti Salami from America, Lucky Omofoma, Mr. Courage from Ireland, Newton Igbinugun from Spain, Dr. Sarah Obaseki from Nigeria, Don Pedro Obaseki. We have Pa Muhammad Igile from Boston, Gladys Williams, Uyi Oduwa Malaka. The names are endless. I cannot go on calling them, but we need to actually thank these people. And if both His Excellencies can just give a word of thanks to these people, and we close for the day. We'll see all of you again next week. Leave the floor for His Excellencies, please.
Right, Honorable Sir.
Please, can we unmute the Deputy Governor?
Yes,
I'm sure he's still there.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much. I want to join Loretta. You know, I just came from the Parliament to become Deputy Governor. So I want to say that you have moved the motion to thank everybody, and as a former parliamentarian, I second your motion for thanking everybody.
Thank you very much.
And I'm sure the moderator will hit the gavel to make it formal. But having said that, I also want to thank all participants in this program, and to assure us that for us, it's all about the people, and the people first, and the people will always be first, because we believe that when we do the will of the people, we're actually doing the will of God. Edo is a great state, and the people of Edo are great people. And it has shown, even from all of you that are in diaspora, wherever you are, an Edo person is noticed from this greatness, because we're always contributing to the development of the area where we belong. For us, as a government, the governor of Edo State and all of us that are with him, we believe in the development of our state and the future of our state. We don't have any other state apart from Edo, and together we'll make Edo a great state that it is. And I want to assure you that you can trust us, because we are here to serve you. And by the grace of God, the election will not only be valid-free, but by the grace of God, Mr. Governor and I will come back to conclude the first part and the second part of our vision. Government business is to continue, but I can assure you that you can trust us. And when you can trust us, obviously, our collective vision for our state will be actualized. Once again, I join Loretta to thank everybody. Thank you very much, and God bless you all.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. I want to assure you that the ayes have it. Motion adopted. And I will, I don't know if His Excellency, the Governor Obaseki, will just have a last word for us before we close the night. Your Excellency, sir.
I can't really see him on screen. Perhaps.
I don't think he's here.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, Lady Esosa, I thought you had a word to say or something.
No, I just want to say thank you to everyone. And like I said earlier, both the participants and the people behind the scene, it's been an absolute pleasure to be with you all today. And thank you for coming and thank you for attending. Like I said, this is not the end, but this is where today's story ends. And may we all come back next week and we can have a different story again to tell. Thank you very much.
From me, Comrade Lante Oriaki, thank you for joining us. I will say good night.
Have a good night, everyone.
Hi, everyone. Good night.
Bye-bye.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Bye.
I hope so you don't hear every question where they give the governor and the answer where the governor also give the people. So if you get anything to add, join what you don't hear for this meeting, go to comment section, make you put am for there. And make you not forget to help us share am so that make other people for still hear the question where people ask the governor for this Zoom meeting wey happen today. So share am to friends and family. Thank you for watching Dan ARG YouTube.